Hello, 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 and welcome to Women's Wisdom Wednesdays, where we come together every Wednesday to empower women, foster connections, and thrive on our journey of surviving womanhood. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. Her name is Aisha Abdul Qader, and she has an incredible story to share. But before we introduce her, let's take a moment to address you, our wonderful audience. First, we want to welcome you back to our second series of 12 episodes. We are so excited. Our first series of 12 has done wonderfully well, and we are so thankful and grateful to all of you who have watched us, watched our replays, or listened to us on our podcasts. And we want to ask you to please continue to follow us in our second series of 12. And we also want to remind you to visit our website at www.survivingwomanhood.com, where you can find valuable resources, connect with other women, and stay updated on our upcoming episodes, workshops, and webinars. And we're so excited too, because we were .org, but now we have finally gotten the .com for our Surviving Womanhood website, and we are switching everything over to there. So we were very blessed. We got this survivingwomanhood.com at a bargain of $12 when it was up for auction for like $1,000. So we are very excited about that. And again, so we're survivingwomanhood.com now. We feel kind of grown up, don't we, Bianca?
Yeah.
So we want to encourage you to actively participate by asking questions, adding comments, and if you have a story to share, we would love to hear it. This is a safe space for us to learn and grow together. Now, let's meet Aisha. Aisha is a personal development coach who helps introverted businesswomen regain self-worth to live their lives with purpose by embracing abundance. What a wonderful thing and very necessary. Aisha's story is a testament to the strength we all possess within us. She'll be discussing her journey from self-doubt to self-love and the invaluable lessons she's learned along the way. So Aisha, is there anything I've left out?
Thank you very much, Kasey and Bianca, for having me. And thank you also for a beautiful introduction. As you said, I help introverted businesswomen, and I'm blessed for that.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you so much for being here with us. And just to let you know, I'm Kasey Conrad, whole life coach and well-being specialist, and my beautiful co-host.
Hi, I'm Bianca Cartin, and I'm a business and mindset coach.
Thank you. Aisha, so let's begin. We're so privileged to have you here today. Thank you once more. We're sure your journey is going to serve as an inspiration to many women out there. So first question, can you please share some of the challenges that you've encountered during your life's journey and how you've managed to find strength and fulfillment and now created this wonderfully successful coaching business?
Yeah, very beautiful question, Kasey. I have gone through, multiple hardships at my life. So from childhood trauma, and I lost my dad, which was so challenging for me in 2008, to the trauma also that I had in 2019, which I can say that my life has shifted to a new chapter. Before coaching, before the self-exploration journey and healing journey, my life was one part. Now it's like new journey for me. And so how I overcame the challenges, I think one of the things that will happen during the hardships, when we go through trauma or any kind of hardships, there are those little voices, inner voices that comes in, and I can say that all of us, we have it, but not necessarily listen to it. In 2019, when I had that trauma and hardship, I remember sitting on the sofa, just so much chaos in my mind, and I was thinking, what can I do now? What to do now? And I heard that little voice, literally from my within, tells me that I have to do something. You need to do something to, stop attracting more trauma to my life. And I listened to that, and I'm truly blessed that I did. So from that moment, I started to do research about coaching and personal development, and I started my path since then. So I believe being a successful woman starts with believing in ourselves and believing in what we do. And also there is part of it which is related to being consistent, being persistent in what we do, and setting the true intention for what we want to do in our business and how we want to serve the world through our business.
Lovely. In our discussions earlier, you had mentioned that you had gone through a period where you weren't very accepting of yourself. And that was on a physical level as well as an emotional level. Could you talk to us a little bit about that and the journey that brought you to this wonderful place of self-acceptance?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, self-acceptance is a huge thing, because when I started to accept myself physically, emotionally, as a human being, as an incomplete human being, that was the time, things has changed. I started to love myself unconditionally. I started to really improve in my life. So self-acceptance, I feel it's something that every woman needs to have it in order to start the path of growth and the path of transformation in their life. Is so crucial to accept ourselves, to accept that we are human beings. We do failure, we do mistakes, we go through failures, and it's so crucial to also set or embrace this mindset of learning and learning from our mistakes, from our failures, in order to move, with new mindset to new chapters of our life.
Thank you. Bianca?
Yeah, I was going to ask, I mean, it's fascinating. I'd love to ask you, like, how in this journey of self-acceptance, how have you personally sort of processed and adjusted to that, and what strategies and practices have you personally taken on in order to foster that feeling of self-acceptance?
For me, self-acceptance came as a realization. So I realized that I am linking my identity to the traumas that I had in the past. That's why I didn't accept myself. Since I had that realization, so I thought, okay, it's the time to stop that, because I don't want to be that person who has that kind of like victim mindset, to always like feel or think that I am unlucky, things happens to me, and taking the control of my life on my own self. Mm-hmm. So coaching was one of the tools, one of the things that helped me to do that. The other thing was the new tools and techniques that I learned in mental fitness and positive intelligence. So these are, I can say, the two major things that I have learned and helped me a lot in shifting my mindset, helping me to learn how to manage my thoughts, my emotions, and change my belief system toward myself. So yeah, so I really encourage everyone who feels that they don't accept themselves, and this belief is unconscious, but we feel it. It's there in the back of our head. But if we pay attention to it, if we pay attention to the quality of our thoughts, we can change that. Yeah.
I'd like to ask, if I may, what I think I'm hearing you say is before you began coaching others, you had a coach yourself.
Yes, and I have a coach till now.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
I think it's really important, right?
Yeah, it's so important to have someone, because there are some times that we are not aware, but when we have someone, and a coach or professional that is there with us in the journey, they can tell us, reflect back to us our beliefs that we are not aware of, or we don't see them properly and clearly.
Yeah, and it helps us to identify places where we need to put our attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so was it this coach that you had that inspired you to become a coach?
First of all, yes. The thing is, two of my sister friends, they were a coach at that time, and I was searching for somewhere to start the coaching journey. So they introduced me to this path and to the institution, to where I can start my coaching journey, how I can become a coach. So yes, it was definitely a guidance from friends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What sort of advice would you have for other women who are at the beginning of this journey? They have the small sort of intuition inside them, and they would like to be more self-accepting, and they haven't made that step. They're kind of just thinking about what they can do to help themselves. What advice would you give a woman in that position?
Listen to that intuition. First of all, I can say, if they have this intuition, if they have this call from within, listen to that call, because it will transform your life. And also ask yourself proper questions, like what I want from my life. Am I just ready to stay where I am, not accepting myself, and just putting a shell around myself and living in that bubble for the rest of my life? Or I want to change, or I want to transform my life and really reach to my dreams in life, because I deserve it. Because I deserve it. As human being, every human being deserves to live their dreams and to live the life that they really wish for. And be honest with yourself. I mean, in this process, if you are not honest, I mean, there's no point of doing it. So being honest, because this journey is not always like fulfilling. I mean, there is ups and downs, in this journey. You may realize that there is some dark sides of you. You have shadows, you have self-judgment. So you need to learn how to face them, how to encounter them, and how to accept them in the process. So honesty is crucial as well.
How have you, in that journey, your relationships within your families or your friends, how has that been affected by your changes? I think that's sometimes for women something that we feel responsible for everyone in our family, in our friend circles. We're trying to hold a space for them. And we worry about how they will react, so we hold ourselves back from making those changes, or filter ourselves a little bit. So how
I really encourage them to find the safest space, because what happens that and I was one of them, I have this mentality of thinking that vulnerability is weakness. So I was avoiding myself to be vulnerable, because I was thinking it is a weakness. And I thought, okay, by keeping my past and not going there and just ignoring my negative emotions, ignoring my anger and numbing my emotions, I will be okay and successful and strong. Whereas it's opposite, because when this kind of let's say trauma and negative emotions and uncomfortable anger, guilt, shame, and all of these emotions accumulated inside us without us letting them go from inside, we won't feel free. So it will be impacted in our relationship with our loved ones and even professionally. So when you release those accumulated emotions, which you never talked about, which you never opened it up, when you release that, there will be a beautiful kind of relief. And I have experienced it for the first time in coaching, and I was like astonished, and I thought, wow, this is so relieving. Why I had this mentality of just keeping quiet, just keeping all of those sufferings within me. Mm-hmm. So I realized the value of vulnerability in a safe space.
That's beautifully stated, because I think that there are so many women and men who are afraid of showing their vulnerability for the same reason. I'm not sure where in history that got skewed, where like being vulnerable and open equaled weakness. But hopefully this message that you have shared beautifully will touch many people out there and allow them to understand that there is a difference between being vulnerable and open and being weak. And so what if, weakness, who says that's a bad thing, right? When did that start to become a bad thing? Like it's just a thing we all experience, right? There are times in our life when we need someone else, right? And I think that's the beautiful part of being human.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. And one more thing that I want to, and in my opinion, when we are weak in certain stage of our life, we feel the weakness. It doesn't mean that we are weak human beings. It means it's just the stage of our life that it will definitely pass. And I believe that vulnerability is a strength. I mean, imagine a person who talks about her uncomfortable emotions. I mean, she should be so courageous, or he should be so courageous enough to talk about those uncomfortable emotions.
Yeah, agreed. And that's something that we as a society would be good for us to respect and hold that as a strength. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. Because it's a difficult thing to do, right? It's a difficult thing to do. It's easy to keep things inside. Yeah. Right. And just like let them build and fester and stew. It's easy to do that. And that's what most people do. Right. And it creates this unhealthy emotional state and also unhealthy physical body from like holding all of that inside. But it takes a lot of strength to open up and share that part of you. And as you said, it's so liberating.
It is liberating. It may seem like very tough, maybe, but when it happens, I mean, it's amazing. It's really, truly liberating. Yes. I agree with you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because this is such an important subject, and one I wasn't expecting to touch on today. So thank you very much for bringing this up, because I think this is a huge subject for so many people who are afraid to open up because of the backlash that they might get from that. They're not ready for that piece of it, I think. And I think Bianca had a question earlier, and I'm curious a little bit. When you had this revelation and you allowed yourself to open and express your emotions, how did the people around you react to that?
Well, they were, because we were at the same stage, like beginning of the, they were also surprised, they were experiencing the same thing. So it's something that all of us will experience. It's not something that, of course, it may change. It may be a little bit different from one person to another, but it's definitely liberating. And, and when we do that, when we, show other people that vulnerability is good thing in a safe space. I want to emphasize on that. In a safe space, of course, we are going to encourage others, and imagine that if each one of us do that, how that impacts the whole world, and also the well-being of the humanity. It will be very huge, I think, impact on everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you. Bianca.
My last question, Aisha, is thank you for sharing all of those things, and you've had such a wonderful journey. How now has your perspective on life changed, and how has the importance of things related to self-care? We've spoken a lot about your coaching, but are there other self-care routines that you have incorporated in your life now since being on this journey?
Yeah, the things that I applied after coming to the coaching journey, I didn't know about it before that. So one of them was prioritizing myself. So when I accepted myself, I started to love myself. And when I started to love myself, I learned how to prioritize myself in proper situations. I learned how to set boundaries, which was so difficult for me to do it. Healthy boundaries, let's say. So self-care becomes something that I always think about it, even if I go through very, very tough situations. So I will not forget that. I never forget that, to take care of myself, of my emotional well-being, of my physical well-being as well. So self-care become I can say a big part of my life.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. So Aisha, is there anything else that you would like to share with us concerning self-acceptance, self-love, or any other part of your journey?
Thank you very much. Currently, I don't have something in mind, but I would like to really encourage people who are your audience, who are listening to my voice, is if you have gone through trauma, if you have gone through hardships in your life, start your healing journey, because that would transform your life.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I want to just go through now a couple of key takeaways. And you let me know if I leave anything out or if anything needs to be corrected. Okay. So on this journey of self-acceptance, self-love, the importance of finding someone, whether it's a coach or someone else, to help you, to guide you along the way, to identify your limiting beliefs and begin to work on those, right? Understanding them, being able to recognize when they're coming up, what triggers them, that sort of thing. Being able to be vulnerable in a safe space and to release some of those negative emotions that you've been holding on to allow them to be freed from you and allow your growth process to continue. The importance of self-care and setting healthy boundaries, which I think is important for everyone, right? I don't think we're taught very well how to set these boundaries, and it's very difficult for us to do that. But I think I agree with you 100% that in whatever our journey is, if we can begin to set healthy boundaries, things begin to change for the better. So did I leave anything out, or is there any other key points that you would like to reiterate now?
I think that's it, and you said it very beautifully, Kasey. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So let's all take a moment to appreciate Aisha for sharing her inspiring journey with us. Your strength and resilience are truly remarkable. So thank you so, so much. And we want to invite our viewers to share their own stories, suggest future topics or guests, and actively engage with the Surviving Womanhood community. Again, remember to go to our website, survivingwomanhood.com, find our previous podcasts and Facebook Lives, as well as any upcoming activities and events that we have. And please remember to mark your calendars for October 11th, next Wednesday, for our next Women's Wisdom Wednesday episode, where our guest is going to be another amazing woman sharing her journey. Bianca, would you like to say a few words about our next week's guest?
Next week is Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Lindsay will be talking about her journey into having children with IVF. It's quite a journey. I think it's something that a lot of women can resonate with, and maybe even if you haven't experienced it, it's fascinating. For me, somebody who hasn't, I'm really can't wait to have Lindsay talk to us about what that entailed, and obviously the phenomenal results of that.
Yes, another important topic for loads of women out there, especially women over 40 who are experiencing that now.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I just want to one more time extend a heartfelt thank you to you, Coach Aisha, for joining us today and sharing your incredible story. I also want you to share with people, and we're going to put this in the comments section, but could you share with people where they could find you if they're looking for a wonderful coach to help them through their business development?
Thank you so much, Kasey and Bianca, for having me. Sure, they can find me on Instagram, and I'm available on LinkedIn, Facebook, and I have a website as well under my name.
Fantastic. And also, I believe you have a book that you've written.
Yeah, I'm a co-author of the book She Dares.
Thank you
So
very much.
I wrote the copy just for them, and it's a so powerful book because it's a true story of 36 women who've been able to overcome their challenges and be successful. So I encourage everyone to read it as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So everyone is looking for this book. We will also have the information where you can find this book for yourself in our comment section, and we will also put it on our website. So if you've been touched by Aisha's wonderful story, or you have an experience of your own to share, please leave us a comment below. We value your voice, and we want to create a community where we can all learn and grow together. So once again, don't forget to join us next Wednesday for Women's Wisdom Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. UK, and 9 p.m. in the UAE. Together, we will continue to explore the remarkable survival stories of women who have faced challenges with courage and resilience. So thank you again, Aisha. It has been an honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kasey and Bianca, for having me. It's been a great pleasure for me to be here with you tonight.
Thank you. And thank you to all the rest of you wonderful women in our community. Let's face every challenge, rise above adversity, and support one another on our journeys of surviving womanhood. See you next time.